Well, I'm talking with Forrest Roberts, who's the CEO of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association at the Cattle Industry Summer Conference. And Forrest, just wanted to ask you a few questions about the conference. And first of all, just really what goes on at this conference? What's the summer conference all about?
Sure, John. This conference is all about the business planning role for the cattle industry. So we have cattle producers, cattlemen and women from all across the country. They come together this week in the midpoint of the summer every year to be able to look at charting the course really for the future of the industry, and especially as we look at our plans for the next fiscal year. Our fiscal year 2014 begins October 1, so we're gaining some final input into making some final decisions that really start to set the course of the business plan for this industry for the next year. So that's what the focus is here this week in Denver.
What are some of the key issues that are under discussion here this summer?
There's a lot of things being discussed, but I would try to put it into a couple of different areas. When you look at major policy-related decisions that are facing our industry today in our organization, one in particular is how we look at next steps around the Farm Bill and what's happening in Washington, D.C. there. And then secondly, there's a lot of marketing-related conversations, specifically around issues like country of origin labeling. And then last but certainly not least, an issue that impacts all farmers and ranchers is immigration reform. And so from a policy perspective, those tend to be the three big areas of focus here at this meeting this week. When we look at how we work together as a proud contractor to the Beef Checkoff program, a lot of our work there is how do we look out into the future with where's the next customer? Where's that next consumer that we're trying to build demand with and what's important to them? So it's all about our demand creation strategies that we're trying to finalize and really begin to work toward implementing them as a team in here just not into the not too distant future.
And looking out into the future and kind of ahead to the annual the annual convention in the wintertime and really the long-term kind of implications for what comes out of this meeting. What are some of the meanings or the impacts that you expect for the producer and for the industry overall?
Sure. A lot of the focus here is how do you bring all of what I just said together in terms of the issues facing our industry. While we recognize there's been a lot of challenges that has been brought on by Mother Nature with drought, there's a sense of optimism that I hear all week about how do we look toward that consumer of the future. And that consumer of the future is really all about the millennial generation. So those are those people now in our society here in this country. They're 80 million strong, and they're born from 1980 to the year 2000. So today they're between the ages of 13 and 33. What they say about beef is that we expect you to answer our questions on safety and nutrition, but also the highest number of questions that they're asking us is tell us more about how that beef eating experience was produced. So why that's so important to us is that if we're able to answer those three areas of questions from our millennial consumers of the future, we feel like that we've got an opportunity to grow demand for this industry for the next 1 or 2 decades. So if I sum all of that up, I see people here today focused on how do we build trust to build growth. Trust with the millennial customer and consumer, and how does that build growth for this industry for several decades.